So this is how you can run Windows VSTs on a Mac here in 2023. This is one way. You need CrossGridder, CrossOver, and AudioGridder. And that's what I have here is CrossOver. And what it is you subscribe to the channel for the YouTube for the CrossGridder developer. So you subscribe to his channel, and then you email him from his GitHub page. And then you download the version that he sends you, which is, in this case, it was 1.5. And he also includes some instructions, and then he also includes some versions of AudioGridder, which is 1.2.0, because that's what he used to make his application with. So, and then he also recommends CrossOver 21 at the making of this video. And then, so you install that, and then you install these programs, and once that's done, you install the CrossGridder as a bottle. So you go to, I guess, import bottle archive, because it comes with some weird C archive format. And then, so once that's installed, you'll see these things here. And then you'll also have to expand this control panel so that you can see these things here. And then the next thing you need to do is open this thing here, which is Wine, which is cool because it included it in this system, so you don't have to download another application. Anyway, so then you go to Desktop Integration, and then you're going to change the folders for Desktop, My Documents, and Music so that they link up to the local folders on your system. And then you want to make sure you check Link To when you're doing this. So once you've done that, you're ready to start cracking. So the first thing is to launch. Well, first you want to either install some plugins or install a del. Now, so you can also launch the program from in here, but when you do that, what you need to do is quit the program when it shows up on your dock, and it's going to show you the CrossOver icon and a Wine68 4 preloader. And those are the main programs. As far as I know, I've tried doing it both ways where they're open and they're closed, and it didn't seem to make much difference, but it does have a bit of a lag once you're actually using the instruments if you have the AudioGridder server, this version, open. However, you do need to save this to your dock because this is what you're going to want to open the CrossGridder application with, because when you do that, it opens up all this stuff automatically for you. But then you need to quit it again immediately. It's a little clunky at the moment, but it is what it is. So once you've done that, and so you need to get in here, and you can either open the C drive, and when you do that, it shows you, let's conceal some of my stuff, it shows you this directory, which you can then get to the Steinberg VST plugin. And as you can see, I dropped some dels in there. So I did it manually. However, you can also install some things directly into the software using this right here. And then you would just search for the name of the application or type the name in or whatever, and then go ahead and install it into that, and we'll run the exe. And then once you finish all that, you would click install, and it's going to be loaded into the scanning system, and it's going to either reject the plugin or it's not going to reject it. So it does reject quite a few plugins, but I really just want a basic setup because I wanted to get some instruments from a free developer. So if you go through more effort, which I mentioned later on, if you go to this through more effort, then you can get more and more things functional. But as you can see on this side here, I have listed all the things I have functional. So I have over 20 plugins that I got for free functional. The only thing that would potentially cost money in this scenario at the moment is to download the CrossOver application, and then if you use it beyond the 15-day trial, I think there's a $25 fee if I'm not mistaken. So, but at least you could try it out and see if you could get anything functional at all. And that's a good way to, so you can save the money otherwise. And then, so we showed how to install the del into the directory. Then we showed also how to run exe using the various bottles and control panels and all that stuff. Not all plugins work. There's stuff with JBridge and all that. I really didn't want to mess with any of that yet. I'm just trying to get like some freebies going, and I'll see how it goes. But there's so much unique plugins happening from developers on the Windows side that I want to be able to access those, because there's one in particular. Anyways, the server for AudioGridder is the special piece of kit here, because also it can run locally or it can run remotely. And so the whole point of the AudioGridder was to basically create a system that creates like almost like a server cloud, where you could run the plugin from another machine and save the overhead on your local machine. So CrossGridder, that's the puppy that does the magic conversion from the Windows VST into something that you can see and use on a Mac, which I'll show in 1 second. And then CrossOver is the sort of parallels, VMware style thing that creates a little simulation of a Windows installation, and that's the puppy that enables the the Windows folders and some of the architecture, so you can get in and run run the Dells and run the XEs and all that, and it thinks it's Windows. So the actual, once you get everything going, the main folder. The main application that you see is this little thing right here, which is grayed out, believe it or not. And so when you click and drag kind of slowly, it will let this open. If you do it real fast, you have trouble keeping it open. It's still kind of flaky at the moment, but it's worth it. It's totally worth it. So from this, you can see your settings. So you can change from local to other stuff, et cetera, et cetera. You got many different things you can mess with here. But I haven't really gone that deep yet with this, because again, it's just about getting some basic plugins functional. But that's the CrossGridder version of this. You can also do things where you're changing the names of the IDs and all these things so that you can have multiple servers open. So anyways, so I can see also what has succeeded in the plugins and what has failed once the scan is done. So here I would choose plugins. And it's showing me, but I got too much stuff on my screen, so I can't get to it right now. But anyway, so let's get to the actual plugins. So this is what one looks like. And there's a little bit of a delay when you're grabbing and whatnot, but it's a little quicker when you have the AudioGridder server closed. So this is a plugin, and then it sounds just like any other plugin. It's modifiable. And so you can also change the patch. Which is nice. And then I have multiple versions open, so I wanted to show that that's possible. So I'm going in here. This is some sort of Roland emulation. And so we can see we have a little thing here. We can. Now, this particular developer is the reason I wanted to get this application, because they're doing like these little simulations and models of vintage hardware and some modular vintage hardware. And I thought, oh my God, that's so cool. I got to see what's going on here. Luckily, this stuff seems to be working. So again, we can create patches. It's basically just kind of showing a mirror from what's being simulated on the virtual Windows configuration. And if you had an actual Windows configuration, you don't need CrossGridder. You would just use AudioGridder. So then you would just pipe it through AudioGridder and get it onto your Mac. So that's another thing to consider. And these particular plugins, I thought they were pretty cool, because the sound you get out of them are really that cool 70s, weird kind of alive, living, mechanical sounding analog. And it's really got a mind of its own in that way. So I thought that was cool. I'll show one more, and then we'll wrap it up. When I open up the AudioGridder instance, it automatically opens the plugin. Oh, I'll show you how to access the plugins as well. Now, people will recognize these synths. So if you go to this particular developer who made these, you'll see like almost 200 of these things where he went through all this effort, or they went through all this effort to create these. That's very cool of them, and I'm going to take full advantage. And so, you know, it records and it bounces just like a regular instrument. Whatever your DAW is, hopefully it's compatible. This happens to be Logic, but the guy showed it in other applications as well. To actually load a plugin, all you do is, first I got to exit this one, and then I'm going to go to my VST, and then go to whatever plugins it has installed, or whatever, it could be another technology as well. And then I can just quickly select and see how it goes from there. Some of them might crash, and it's just like any other, you know, setup. You never know what's going to happen. You got to try them out, and a lot of them that will fail the scan, and so hopefully that'll save you the trouble as well. Cool. Let's try one more. I like this instrument. Well, I did. Anyway, so you get the point. A lot of fun can be had messing around with this stuff. And it's a very cool discovery, and it's very affordable. So hopefully you have some success with it as well. Run VSTs on a Mac in 2023. Bye-bye.